Greetings and salutations today. Um, I'm American Social Democracy. I want to talk about politics. Bet you didn't see that coming a mile away, did you? Anyway, I've been up for a little while. Before I get into the politics, I'm just letting you know I've been up for a little while and been doing a few things, getting my place ready for Christmas and all that. I've been a little bit delaying this year. Just didn't quite have the Christmas spirit like I normally do. COVID, I guess you could blame it on, for that reason. Just everything's just, can't really do anything. Even when I get a little bit of free time, I like to go out. And at least I'm able to go out to a restaurant every now and then. That aspect's been kind of restored back to normal. Yeah, I wear the mask and all of that. And I'm not complaining about that. I mean, I think it's sensible to do that. Um, but the menus are a little more scaled down than it used to be. And then just, I mean, it beats, cooking inside all the time or doing carry out. But, it's still not quite the same as it used to be. Going to bars, that's next to impossible these days. And, just kind of like, hopefully we'll get back to normal at some point. I think that we will see some semblance of normality by the year 2022. And hopefully that really angrier strain of COVID that's that broke out in the UK, hopefully that can be conquered too. Um, so the year 2020, to sum it up, it's not been exactly the best years of my life. I remember in recent years, I was saying that 2008, 2007, 2008 were pretty crummy, but 2020 was kind of crummy too. Um, and there's been a few years significant, whether it's the personal or the political, that's been kind of not its best. Um, we all got crosses to bear in our lives and everything. So, having that said, let's talk about what I would consider good news. The good news is that Donald Trump was defeated last month in the election. That's kind of like an obvious, especially if you're not a Republican and you're not a Donald Trump fan. Um, it's humorous and scary at the same time seeing significant portions of the Republican Party, and in particular strong Donald Trump supporters, feeling like that Donald Trump was cheated in the year 2020. Now, to make a victim out of Donald Trump, uh, let me just get this. Let's set the record straight. He's a billionaire. I don't feel sorry for any billionaire. Don't feel sorry for any billionaire that lives on God's green earth. Hillary Clinton, she's a multimillionaire. I believe she's worth over. I believe that the Clinton Foundation have as much as $250 million. Again, Bill and Hillary Clinton, they're not victims either. Nancy Pelosi's worth over $100 million. Her stuffing her face with fancy chocolates in front of her, with her, behind her, having two separate $12,000 refrigerators. I mean, yeah, our politicians are not victims, and we go around and acting like that when somebody on our team is beaten up, that we go and we're going to kick ass and not and be the little armchair activists and Twitter each other and Facebook each other and YouTube each other and give everybody a what for. And then all of a sudden we feel like, oh, well, I own that person. I own that person. And I'm going to tell you, individually, whatever side of the fence you're on, you don't owe shit to anybody. So just getting that out of the way. But as I said, Donald Trump is not a victim. But was the election rigged? Now, I think all elections are rigged. To tell you the truth, I don't think that there is a totally free, totally honest election anywhere in the United States these days. I don't care what. I don't care who wins elections. Everybody use some kind of questionable method to win. Um, was there cheating against Donald Trump? Um, I would be a fool to say not. I believe there was cheating against Joe Biden too. I think there was cheating against Bernie Sanders in the primary. I think there's been cheating always. There's always cheating going on all around the corner in every election, and it's just a matter or boils down to which group of cheaters are more clever than the other, and we need to do something about it. I have some noble solutions, but of course, nobody wants to listen to that, and that would include I would have term limits if I could. I believe in term limits. One of the few things that the Republicans used to advocate that I would support it was the current term limits. And then once they tasted the nectar of power, all of a sudden they stopped talking about term limits. But I would say term limits, public financing of elections. I would say free equal airtime for all candidates, whether they're in the mainstream parties or fringe or independent candidates. You know, ballot access reforms so small parties can get on the ballot. You know, there's no reason why you couldn't have a uniform system where it requires 1,000 signatures to get a political party on the ballot, and that would include the Democrats and Republicans and everybody else. And I think anybody can achieve getting up 1,000 signatures put up so your political party can be on the ballot. It's not too much to ask. So anyway, yes, as I said, the two-party system is a sham. I look at the political system as I normally do any other election you're in, think it's all a sham. But I'm meandering again, and let me get to the meat and potatoes. But before I do, let me mention this about cheating. If anybody cheated, it was George W. Bush and Dick Cheney in the year 2000. Kathleen Harris, who was the Secretary of State in Florida, connected to Jeb Bush, who was the governor, to a right-leaning Supreme Court. You talk about a rigged election. George W. Bush was the unofficial president from 2001 to 2009. And I'm gonna tell you one thing. To this day, I didn't recognize George W. Bush, who was the worst president this country ever had. Need I mention that again? George W. Bush was the worst president we ever had. Yes, worse than Obama, worse than Trump. I mean, because all the shit that Trump and Obama brought to the United States, George W. Bush laid the foundations for it. But anyway, yeah, I didn't vote for Joe Biden either. I voted third party, so I've been voting, and I have been voting third party since 1996. 1992 was the last time I voted in the two-party system for president. And let me tell you, Joe Biden won. I didn't celebrate Joe Biden winning. I didn't celebrate. I celebrated Trump's loss, but I did not celebrate Joe Biden winning. And to my chagrin, corporatists, military-industrial complex, neocons are going to be the flavors of the new administration. In other words, new boss, same as the old boss. And they're trying. The neo-libs are trying to make the left feel good. Oh, we look at all the pieces of shit that we just put up there. They're just as bad as the white pieces of shit that Trump had in his administration. But don't worry, the pieces of shit we're having in this administration, they're not white. They're all the colors of the rainbow, and they're all kinds of genders and diversity, and and to me, you know, doesn't matter what color you are. If you're serving corporatists and you're serving the military industrial complex, you're a problem. You're a problem. I don't care. I don't care who you are. I don't care what circumstances of life and you're from. If you're serving the military industrial complex and you're serving the corporate special interests, you're the problem. So, Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, really, you're going to do that? And I'm not going to succumb to this identity politics method that the corporate Democrats love to use. Now, I'm going to tell you, there was an understanding during the 2020 campaign that Joe Biden will have to listen to the left. And let me tell you, he owes the left. He owes us. He and Kamala Harris owes us. But of course, they're not repaying us. They're not doing anything. In fact, they're going out of their way to have a presidential administration that would please someone like Mitt Romney or John Kasich or Lindsey Graham a hell of a lot more, or Mitch McConnell, than they would. And they don't want to please people like Bernie Sanders or AOC or Elizabeth Warren or even yeah, they don't. Um, they wouldn't. So, I just knew this was going to happen. I am pretty good about predicting this sort of thing, and I'm gonna tell you, Bernie Sanders wanted to be labor secretary. It ain't happening. Someone like Elizabeth Warren wanted to be Treasury secretary. It ain't happening. And this is where I come to this whole thing about forcing the vote, and I've been talking about it for the past couple of weeks because a lot of my counterparts in the independent left media on YouTube and the rest of social media, who are more well known than I am, more important than I am. Not saying that it's negative toward me, but I'm just saying they're the ones with the presence. And as I said, when Jimmy Dore came up with the idea of forcing the vote, it was an idea that was worth pursuing. And to reach out and to have Sam Cedar acknowledge that it's a damn good idea is progress for Sam Cedar, as far as I'm concerned. But some people, they want to they this, as I said, this is like the first real test of pushing Biden toward the left with the Medicare for all. But then all of a sudden, you know, oh, Jimmy Dore or anybody else, it was kind of like, well, anger. We're so angry, and that's not going to win anything. What being pleasant and groveling for crumbs is going to get you what you want? Just brown nosing Nancy Pelosi and brown nosing Chuck Schumer. That's going to get you what you want. They don't care about Medicare for all. They don't care about the people. They care about their corporate donors. And now they want to make sure their corporate donors are social justice, politically correct minded, minus the actual meat and potatoes of economic justice. But that's how they operate. And let me tell you, all this is going to do is going to enable the Republicans. I have warned. I'm you're going to look back at this video in about less than 2 years from now, and you're going to be like, "Well, he was correct." I've seen this pattern over and over and over again. Bill Clinton doing his corporatist third way bullshit in the first couple of years of his presidency, actually all the way to the year 2001. But this is when I woke up seeing this bullshit. And it ended up with Republicans stronger than ever before. Same thing with Obama. He repeated the same pattern. Now, I do think that Obama was slightly better than Bill Clinton. But again, Barack Obama repeated that same pattern with the same results. And so Bill Clinton and Barack Obama came in there and they're probably wishing, please, Republicans, stop calling us socialists. And then they go and acquiesce to Republicans' demand, and the Republicans call them socialists anyway, and they win. And then you got people who are like, well, these people, these Justice Democrats and the DSA and the grassroots left, all these Bernie Sanders supporters, they're all just like nothing more than a left wing version of the Tea Party, so crude and loud and angry. And they're right. We are angry, but the problem is that we're not angry enough. Some the progressive movement seems to be divided on let's go and play and get along to come along and to get along, and others wants to go and bring a direct fight. I want to see a direct fight. I mean, not a physical fight, but I do want to take the corporatists on, the establishment on, and the sooner that we all realize that not only are the Republicans the one half of the problem, the other half of the problem are the corporate Democrats. And as soon as the left realizes that, and the better it's going to be. I argue for a Labor Party, an independent Labor Party. That is the only way we're going to get out of this fix. And everybody's like, oh, there you go, talking about a third party again. It's pie in the sky, what have you. You look at the other countries. As I said, the Democratic Party is to the right of conservative parties in most Western democracies. And when you have, and I keep harping on this point, when Boris Johnson is to the left of Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer on health care, you know something is deeply wrong. That's what I have to say about this. So that's my piece for today. I just needed to bring that out. If you like what you heard, press like and comment. If you didn't like it, well, comment anyway. Maybe we can have a conversation. Feel free to share the content on this channel. As the First Amendment absolutist, it's my duty to inform you that if you have a platform and you're passionate about something, utilize it. If you don't have a platform and you are passionate about something, create that platform, utilize it, because we're the muckrakers of our time. And the most important of all, hit that subscribe button, make this channel grow. And until next time, I am American Social Democracy. Merry Christmas and happy holidays. Peace. And Bernie Sanders for president in the year 2024.